Ashtar High Command refers to a purported extraterrestrial organization that some individuals claim to have communicated with through a practice known as channeling. Channeling involves the belief that certain people, known as channels or mediums, can receive messages or information from non-human entities, such as extraterrestrials, ascended masters, or spiritual beings. In 1953, George Van Tassel, a prominent figure in the UFO contactee movement, claimed to have received messages from a being named Ashtar, who was said to be the commander of the Ashtar High Command, an alleged intergalactic fleet. Van Tassel founded the Ministry of Universal Wisdom, which served as a hub for individuals who believed in UFOs or claimed to have had contact with extraterrestrial beings. He began interpreting the Bible through the lens of the information he claimed to have received from Ashtar, leading to conclusions such as Jesus Christ being an extraterrestrial. The lore surrounding the Ashtar High Command is extensive, with stories of vast star fleets, the history of their alleged race, and their supposed interactions with humanity throughout time. Some proponents of the Ashtar High Command belief system claim that this extraterrestrial organization is benevolent and seeks to guide humanity towards spiritual enlightenment and cosmic understanding. The idea of receiving messages from extraterrestrial beings through channeling remains highly controversial and is often met with skepticism from the scientific community and mainstream religious organizations. Asian blood types refers to a theory that suggests a correlation between a person's blood type and their personality traits, temperament, and even career aptitude, with a particular focus on individuals of Asian descent. This theory, which is popular in Japan and other parts of East Asia, proposes that the four main blood types, A, B, AB, and O, are associated with specific characteristics that can influence a person's behavior, compatibility with others, and success in various aspects of life. According to this belief, people with blood type A are thought to be more introverted, cautious, and perfectionistic, while those with blood type B are seen as creative, passionate, and independent. Individuals with blood type AB are often described as having a mix of traits from both A and B types, being both rational and emotional, while those with blood type O are considered confident, outgoing, and natural leaders. Proponents of this theory point to anecdotal evidence and popular media representations that seem to confirm these stereotypes, as well as some studies that have suggested possible links between blood type and certain personality traits or health conditions. In Japan, the idea of blood type influencing personality has become so widespread that it is not uncommon for people to ask about someone's blood type as a way of gauging their character or compatibility, similar to how astrological signs are used in some Western cultures. Some companies in Japan have even been known to consider blood type when making hiring or placement decisions, believing that certain types may be better suited for specific roles or teams. The scientific evidence supporting a strong link between blood type and personality is limited and often inconclusive. Many researchers and skeptics argue that the perceived correlations between blood type and character traits are more likely the result of confirmation bias, cultural beliefs, and self-fulfilling prophecies rather than a genuine biological basis. The Asian Overlord Triad theory suggests that organized crime syndicates in Asia, particularly in East Asian regions like Hong Kong, hold significantly more power and influence than is generally acknowledged by the public. According to this theory, these crime syndicates, often referred to as triads, have established intricate networks of connections and financial relationships that allow them to exert control over various aspects of politics and government, especially within China. Proponents of this idea argue that the Chinese government tolerates the existence and proliferation of organized crime in Hong Kong's underground world because of a mutually beneficial, symbiotic relationship between the authorities and the triads. This alleged arrangement is said to help maintain a level of control and stability in Hong Kong, with the crime syndicates operating within certain boundaries set by the government. The theory extends further to suggest that similar dynamics exist in other Asian countries, such as Japan, where the Yakuza, Japan's notorious organized crime groups, are believed to have significant influence and tacit approval from certain segments of the government and society. Some advocates of the concept even propose that Asian criminal organizations operating in other parts of the world are not truly independent, but are instead controlled by a centralized authority, possibly linked to Asian governments. While it is well documented that organized crime groups like Triads and the Yakuza have a significant presence in their respective countries and engage in various illegal activities, the extent of their political influence and the alleged collusion with governments remains a matter of debate and investigation. Concrete evidence of widespread government corruption and the manipulation of politics by crime syndicates can be challenging to obtain, given the secretive nature of these organizations and the potential risks faced by those who attempt to expose such connections. However, the persistence of the Asian overlord triad theory highlights the ongoing concerns about the power dynamics between organized crime and political institutions in Asia, as well as the challenges faced by societies grappling with the impact of criminal influence on governance and public life. Astral projection refers to the belief that a person's consciousness or soul, often called the astral body, can separate from the physical body and travel to other realms or dimensions. Proponents of astral projection claim that this experience allows individuals to explore the universe beyond the limitations of their physical senses and gain access to hidden knowledge or spiritual truths. Some practitioners describe astral projection as a state of heightened awareness, where they feel a sense of freedom and connection to the divine or the universe as a whole. Many cultures and spiritual traditions across the world have concepts similar to astral projection, with varying beliefs about the nature of the soul and its ability to transcend the physical realm. Anecdotal reports from individuals who claim to have experienced astral projection often include descriptions of floating above one's body, traveling to distant locations, and encountering other entities or beings in the astral plane. Some people believe that astral projection can be achieved through various techniques, such as meditation, visualization, or lucid dreaming, which involve focusing the mind and creating a sense of detachment from the physical body. While there is no scientific evidence to support the existence of astral projection or the astral plane, some researchers have suggested that the experience may be related to altered states of consciousness, such as hypnagogia or sleep paralysis. Skeptics argue that reports of astral projection can be explained by a combination of factors, including vivid dreams, hallucinations, and the power of suggestion or expectation. For those who believe in astral projection, the vivid and transformative nature of their experiences serves as compelling personal evidence for the reality of this phenomenon. The concept of astral projection continues to fascinate many people, as it taps into the human desire to explore the mysteries of consciousness and the possibility of transcending the limitations of the physical world. Astronomical engineering life forms refers to the idea that there may be intelligent extraterrestrial life forms capable of engineering structures on an astronomical scale. Some proponents of this theory point to unusual or difficult to explain astronomical phenomena as potential evidence, such as the highly regular pulses emitted by pulsars, which have led some to speculate they could be artificially constructed beacons or energy sources. The vast megastructures hypothesized by some to explain unusual patterns of dimming and brightening in certain stars, like Tabby's star, are another example of astronomical anomalies that have fueled speculation about the engineering capabilities of advanced alien civilizations. While these astronomical mysteries likely have natural explanations, the notion of astronomically advanced aliens building galaxy-spanning structures sparks the imagination and cannot be definitively ruled out based on our current scientific knowledge. The fact that we have conceived of such megastructures as Dyson spheres and Alderson disks, hypothetical constructs that an advanced civilization might build to harness the energy of stars, suggests the idea of astronomical engineering is at least theoretically plausible. This is becoming even more of a reality with new discoveries in distant parts of the universe. We've recently discovered what appears to be a massive megastructure in the shape of a ring as well as what appears to be real Dyson spheres.
A group of researchers say they've identified at least 7 stars that might be surrounded by super advanced alien megastructures known as Dyson spheres. Superior intelligent life might build big structures around their home stars or planets as a way to harness or reuse that energy. Freeman Dyson argued that if these structures existed, there'd be so much energy that human scientists on Earth could probably spot it because it would emit a lot of infrared radiation. So in this new study, researchers say they found 7 sources glowing in the infrared, those are their words, but couldn't find an obvious explanation for why these sources are glowing so much, which could mean they're Dyson spheres or something else entirely.
Atlantis refers to the legendary island civilization first mentioned in Plato's dialogues, which supposedly existed over 9,000 years before his time and was ultimately destroyed by a cataclysmic event. While many consider Atlantis to be a fictional allegory used by Plato to convey philosophical ideas, some believe it may have been based on a real ancient civilization that was lost to history. Proponents of Atlantis' existence point to various archaeological sites and artifacts around the world that they claim could be remnants of this lost civilization, such as the underwater ruins off the coast of Cuba or the mysterious Bimini Road in the Bahamas. Others suggest that the advanced technologies and abilities attributed to the Atlanteans in Plato's accounts, such as the manipulation of orichalcum metal and massive engineering feats, hint at a civilization that may have been more advanced than commonly believed possible for ancient times. Some researchers have proposed that the legend of Atlantis may be a distorted cultural memory of real ancient civilizations that were destroyed by natural disasters, such as the Minoan civilization on Crete that was devastated by the eruption of the Thera volcano. The notion of an ancient, advanced civilization lost to history appeals to the human fascination with forgotten mysteries, and the idea that our understanding of the past may be incomplete. Atom bombs never existed refers to the theory that the destructive power and very existence of nuclear weapons, particularly those used in the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II, have been fabricated or exaggerated. Proponents of this theory argue that the scale of destruction attributed to these bombs is inconsistent with the actual damage observed in the affected cities, suggesting that conventional bombs and firestorms were responsible for the majority of the damage. They point to the rapid rebuilding and repopulation of Hiroshima and Nagasaki as evidence that the long-term effects of radiation and fallout were not as severe as claimed, casting doubt on the bomb's alleged nuclear nature. Some skeptics claim that the iconic mushroom cloud photos associated with nuclear explosions could have been staged or manipulated, and that the secrecy surrounding nuclear technology allows governments to perpetuate the myth of their existence. Conspiracy theorists suggest that the threat of nuclear weapons has been used as a tool for political manipulation and control, with the Cold War serving as a prime example of how the specter of atomic annihilation can be used to shape global politics. Critics of this theory argue that the scientific principles behind nuclear fission and fusion are well established, and that the effects of nuclear weapons have been thoroughly documented and studied. They point to the vast infrastructure and resources dedicated to nuclear weapons programs, as well as the confirmed presence of radioactive isotopes in the affected areas, as evidence of their reality. However, the idea that governments may have exaggerated or manipulated information about nuclear weapons to serve political agendas is not entirely unfounded, as evidenced by historical cases of misinformation and propaganda surrounding these powerful devices.
Like this video and subscribe to Maker.
Aura refers to the belief that a subtle field of energy surrounds and emanates from living beings, often perceived as colors or light. Proponents of aura theory suggest that this energy field reflects an individual's physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, with different colors corresponding to specific traits or states of being. Some claim that auras can be captured through specialized photography, such as Kirlian photography, which allegedly shows the electrical discharges around objects, including living things. Certain individuals, sometimes referred to as aura readers, claim to have the ability to perceive and interpret auras, using this information to assess a person's health, personality, and even future prospects. In some spiritual and metaphysical practices, the concept of auras is linked to the idea of chakras, or energy centers within the body, with the balance and flow of energy through these chakras believed to influence the appearance and quality of one's aura. While the existence of auras has not been scientifically proven, some researchers have investigated the potential bioelectrical and biomagnetic fields surrounding living organisms, which could be interpreted as a form of energy field. The perception of auras may also be related to synesthesia, a neurological condition in which stimulation of one sensory or cognitive pathway leads to automatic, involuntary experiences in a second sensory or cognitive pathway, such as associating colors with people or emotions. The enduring popularity of aura photography and aura readings, despite the lack of scientific evidence, suggests that the concept of auras resonates with many people's intuitive or spiritual beliefs about the nature of energy and the interconnectedness of living beings. Bacterial Humanity refers to the concept that the collective biomass and influence of bacteria on Earth is so vast that it could be considered a global superorganism, playing a crucial role in shaping the planet's ecosystems and even influencing human evolution and behavior. This idea stems from the realization that bacterial cells outnumber human cells in the human body by a factor of about 1.3 to 1, forming complex symbiotic relationships that are essential for human health and survival. Some researchers have suggested that the diverse bacterial communities living within and upon us, known as the human microbiome, could be considered an integral part of the human organism, blurring the lines between what is human and what is bacterial. The influence of bacteria extends far beyond the human body, with these microorganisms playing critical roles in nutrient cycling, decomposition, and the maintenance of Earth's atmosphere and biosphere. Certain theories propose that bacterial activity over billions of years has significantly shaped the Earth's environment, from oxygenating the atmosphere to influencing the evolution of multicellular life, effectively making bacteria a driving force behind the planet's habitability. Some even speculate that the interconnectedness of bacterial communities across the globe, facilitated by their ability to exchange genetic material horizontally, could give rise to a form of collective intelligence or distributed cognition, akin to a planetary-scale superorganism. The growing recognition of the human microbiome's role in health and disease, as well as the increasing appreciation for the global ecological significance of bacteria, lends credence to the idea that humans and bacteria are intimately intertwined in a complex, symbiotic relationship that defies simple categorization. The Baltic Anomaly refers to a mysterious object discovered on the floor of the Baltic Sea in 2011 by the Ocean X team, a Swedish treasure hunting company. Sonar images of the anomaly revealed a large circular formation about 60 meters in diameter, with unusual features that led some to speculate about its potential artificial origin. The object's peculiar shape, which resembles a UFO or a sunken city, has fueled theories suggesting it could be an ancient archaeological site, a secret military installation, or even evidence of extraterrestrial visitation. Some researchers have pointed to the anomaly's proximity to a supposed UFO hotspot in the Baltic Sea as further evidence of its potentially otherworldly nature. The unusual composition of the object, which appears to be made of a metallic or rock-like substance, has also raised questions about its formation and purpose. Skeptics argue that the Baltic Anomaly is likely a natural geological formation, such as a glacial deposit or an unusual rock outcropping, rather than an artificial structure. However, the difficulty of accessing the site due to its depth and location has made it challenging to conduct thorough scientific investigations, leaving room for speculation and alternative theories to persist. Bank of Souls refers to the concept that there exists a metaphysical repository or collective consciousness where human souls are stored before birth and after death. This idea is rooted in various spiritual and philosophical beliefs, such as reincarnation, which suggest that the soul is an eternal entity that transcends a single lifetime. Proponents of this concept believe that the Bank of Souls acts as a kind of way station or intermediary realm between the physical world and the afterlife, where souls await their next incarnation or ultimate destination. Some spiritual traditions, such as Hinduism and Buddhism, incorporate the idea of a soul repository in their cosmologies, with the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth governed by karmic laws and the soul's journey towards enlightenment. Certain New Age and esoteric philosophies propose that the Bank of Souls is accessible to humans through deep meditation, past life regression, or other spiritual practices, allowing individuals to tap into the collective wisdom and experiences of all souls. The notion of a Bank of Souls also appears in some works of fiction and popular culture, often depicted as a supernatural realm or a place of judgment where souls are weighed and assigned their next incarnation based on their past actions. The idea that our souls are part of a greater whole, and that our experiences and actions in this life may have consequences that extend beyond our mortal existence, provides a compelling framework for understanding the mysteries of life, death, and spirituality. BDORT, or Bidigital O-ring test, refers to a controversial alternative diagnostic method developed by a Japanese researcher and acupuncturist. According to proponents of BDORT, the strength or weakness of a person's O-ring, formed by touching the tips of the thumb and another finger, can indicate the presence of various health issues, nutritional deficiencies, or even the effectiveness of certain treatments. The theory behind BDORT suggests that the human body emits electromagnetic fields that can be detected and interpreted by a skilled practitioner who applies pressure to the O-ring while the patient holds specific substances or is exposed to certain stimuli. Advocates of BDORT claim that the method can diagnose a wide range of conditions, from allergies and infections to more serious illnesses like cancer, by observing changes in the resistance of the O-ring. Some practitioners combine BDORT with other alternative therapies, such as acupuncture or homeopathy, to develop personalized treatment plans based on the patient's specific diagnostic results. While BDORT has gained popularity among some alternative health enthusiasts, it lacks scientific evidence to support its efficacy and is not recognized as a valid diagnostic tool by the mainstream medical community. Critics argue that the results of BDORT are subjective and may be influenced by the practitioner's bias or the patient's subconscious reactions, leading to misdiagnosis or delayed treatment of serious conditions. Proponents of BDORT maintain that the method's ability to provide quick, non-invasive insights into a person's health status makes it a valuable tool for holistic and preventative medicine, particularly in cases where conventional diagnostic tests may be inconclusive or unavailable. The Beacon of Hate refers to a theory about a hidden psychological warfare facility. Some believe this secret installation exists in an undisclosed location, potentially underground or in a remote area. Proponents claim it houses advanced technology capable of broadcasting negative emotions and harmful thoughts across vast distances. The alleged purpose is to manipulate populations by inducing fear, anger, and division on a mass scale. Supporters point to unexplained mood shifts in communities, increased social tensions, and patterns of conflict as potential evidence. Some researchers argue that certain radio frequencies or electromagnetic signals could theoretically influence human behavior and emotions. Declassified government documents on past mind control experiments like MKUltra lend credence to the idea that such research may have continued in secret. Believers suggest that the facility may be operated by a shadow government or elite group seeking to maintain control through manufactured chaos. Beatles never existed refers to the conspiracy theory that suggests the iconic British rock band, the Beatles, were not a real group, but rather a cultural construct or a fabricated entity. Proponents of this theory argue that the individual members of the Beatles, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, were actors or musicians hired to portray the band members, while the real creative force behind the music was a team of songwriters and studio musicians. Some believers in this theory point to supposed inconsistencies or anomalies in the band's history, such as the Paul is dead urban legend, as evidence that the official narrative surrounding the Beatles is not entirely truthful. They also cite the band's rapid rise to international fame and their massive cultural impact as being too extraordinary to be attributed to a single group of musicians, suggesting that there must have been a larger orchestrated effort behind their success. Certain conspiracy theorists even propose that the Beatles were a creation of the British government or intelligence agencies, designed to influence youth culture and promote specific social or political agendas. While these claims may seem far-fetched to most people, the enduring fascination with the Beatles and the mythological status they have achieved in popular culture has led some to question the very nature of their reality. However, the vast majority of music historians, cultural analysts, and fans reject the notion that the Beatles never existed, pointing to the wealth of documentary evidence, eyewitness accounts, and the band members' own testimonies as proof of their authenticity. The idea that a group as influential and well-documented as the Beatles could be a fabrication stretches credulity for most, but the persistence of this conspiracy theory demonstrates the power of iconoclastic thinking and the human tendency to seek hidden truths behind cultural phenomena. This refers to a popular children's book series and the related conspiracy theory known as the Mandela Effect, which suggests that the name of the series has mysteriously changed from Berenstein to Berenstain in an alternate reality or timeline. Many people who grew up reading these books in the 1980s and 1990s distinctly remember the name being spelled as Berenstein, with an E, rather than the current spelling, Berenstain, with an A. Proponents of this theory argue that the discrepancy in the spelling is evidence of a shift in our collective reality, or a glitch in the matrix, indicating that we may be living in a parallel universe, or that our memories have been altered by some unknown force. Some believers in the Mandela effect point to the widespread nature of this specific memory discrepancy, with numerous people across different age groups and locations reporting the same inconsistency, as a compelling reason to consider the possibility of alternate realities. Skeptics, however, argue that the Berenstein versus Berenstain discrepancy is simply a case of misremembering or confabulation, where the human brain fills in gaps in memory with false information that feels familiar or plausible. They point out that the Berenstain spelling has been consistently used throughout the series' publication history, and that there is no concrete evidence to support the idea of a reality shift or alternate timeline. Nonetheless, the persistence of this shared false memory and the fervor with which some people believe in the Berenstain spelling has made the Berenstain Bears a prime example of the Mandela effect and a fascinating case study in the fallibility and suggestibility of human memory.